Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here today to talk about a few of the new products I got for long-term storage, and this is specifically dairy products. Now, years ago I had tried the Hoosier Hills Farms powdered whole milk, and I loved it. It's actually, to me personally, the best tasting powdered whole milk I have been able to find. However, for a while there I wasn't able to get it, and so I was looking for another brand that I was stocking up on, and that was this one. Now I'm kind of hesitant to show it to you just because now this one is no longer available, but this one was actually a better deal because you could get more for your money at that time. But it looks like now that the Hoosier Hills, they've come back with the larger, it's about the same size as this. It's a 2-pound jar, plastic jar of the whole powdered milk, and I've added it back into my subscribe and save, because when you do that, if you're buying through Amazon and if you use our links, which I appreciate because that does help support us, if you're one that doesn't mind buying from Amazon, you can go through their subscribe and save and get an even better price. So some of their items, not all of them, some of them are through subscribe and save. So I do that with any of the ones that I'm able to, so I can save just a little bit more. Now the new items I'm trying are these 4 right here, all by the same brand. And so what I have here is I have buttermilk powder. I haven't used this one in anything yet. I've only tasted it, just the powder itself. I've got real butter powder, which I thought was very interesting. White cheddar powder, which I love. This just came in the other day and I've tried it on a couple things. And the heavy cream powder, which I knew they had these things, I just forgot about them and I'd been wanting to try them. And then a subscriber reminded me they have this heavy cream powder, and I thought, I've got to get me some of that. And I was really thrilled that this one is one of the items that was available in subscribe and save, as well as the cheese powder. The butter powder is not, but at any rate, I will link to all of these below, and hopefully by the time you see this video, they are still available. Now, just to be straight up honest, when you're talking powdered dairy products, the flavor is always going to be different than when you can get it fresh. Nothing really totally beats fresh, whether it be the real butter powder, the cheddar cheese, or the heavy whipping cream, or the milk, or the buttermilk, anything like that. Yet, I'm actually really happy with the flavor of these. With the real butter powder, all you have to do is add a little water to it. And the thing that's kind of cool about it being a powder is, let's say you're going to put it on popcorn. You can either sprinkle it on your popcorn, but then you'd want to butter your popcorn already. Now, I actually did that and sprinkled just a little bit to get just a double butter flavor, which was really good. But let's say you don't have any fresh butter. What you can do with your butter powder is you simply mix it with more water than you would need to, like, say, spread it on toast or something. Just add a little bit more water and you can drizzle it on just like you would melted butter. And I tried that and was actually very happy with the flavor. Again, not the same as, you know, melting some fresh butter down and pouring it over your popcorn, but still very good. I also tried using it, you know, usually when I make my yeast breads, one of the breads I make most commonly just to have for slicing bread, for making sandwiches and whatnot, is a poppy seed bread. Sometimes I will use other seeds in there too, like chia, hemp, and so on. I do have a recipe for this that I will link to down below. But anyway, usually I'll put in about a tablespoon or so of butter into the bread as I'm making it. So instead of doing that, what I did was I put about a tablespoon of the butter powder, and I found it to be quite good. I've noticed very little difference in flavor in the bread itself, yet I was still getting that buttery flavor into the bread. But then I also tried taking some of the butter and made butter out of it by mixing a little bit of water with it and then spreading it on there. So what I recommend is when you go to make the butter, just start with, it will say about equal amounts on the package, equal amounts powder to water to do that. But I recommend starting, let's say, take a tablespoon of the powder and then just add a little bit of water to it and start to blend it. Because depending on how you're going to use it is going to be how thick you want it to be. If you want it to be spreadable, you want it to be kind of thick so you can spread it on there rather than drizzle. But like I said, with the popcorn, adding more water will make it so that you can just simply drizzle it onto your popcorn or whatever it is that you plan on putting it on. So anyway, very happy with that. Now, the thing I said about the butter can apply to the cheese too. You can eat, like, let's say you're going to make popcorn, butter your popcorn, sprinkle the white cheddar across there, and that would be one way to do it. Or you can just add water to it until you get it to where you can drizzle it on whatever you want, even if it is on chips for making nachos. I did try this last night because we don't always eat chips. In fact, we rarely, it's something we'll buy, but when we have family get-togethers, I'll usually have some kind of chips on hand. I thought, well, we still have a lot of these chips left over from our family get-together. And so I took some and I tried it 2 different ways. I took the white cheddar powder and mixed it with water until I got it into a thickness that was more like a dip, and then dipped the chips in there, and that was pretty good, though a little on the saltier side. So I can see sort of blending this maybe with something else to bring the salt level down so it's not quite so salty, but anyway, still good. Then the other thing I did was tried some more chips and tried just sprinkling the powder on those, and found I was really happy to find that it stuck to it actually pretty good as is, and that was also very, very good that way. So I can see a lot of things. Now remember, these are new. I've only just started experimenting with them, and I'll be experimenting even more as I go along and probably shoot updates down the road. And then heavy cream. Now, the possibilities of this would be endless. Now, if you're wanting to make up your powdered milk and you decide you want it to be half and half, how about half heavy cream and half the powdered milk? And now you've just made a half and half from a powdered form. Or you can even just, if you're just wanting your milk to have a richer flavor, add some of the heavy whipping cream to it. Now, I haven't tried this yet. It's going to be a while before I get to a point where I could see it. Is it something that's going to whip up like whipping cream for putting, let's say, on top of maybe my chocolate cream pie or my orange cream pie or anything like that that I make? I don't know this yet, but it'll definitely be something I'm going to try and see how that works. But this is going to be a great option if you like creamers in your coffee. I rarely put creamers in my coffee. I tend to like my coffee black, and usually if I do, it's going to be my homemade nut milks of some kind. But the other day I did try putting a little bit of this straight in there, no sweetener. I don't like my coffee sweet, and just the heavy cream powder, and I was surprised at how good it tastes. And it got me thinking that this would be something that a person could use where it would actually be a real product, not that imitation non-dairy creamer that they make, which is really bad for you because of the junk that they use in it. But if you can have and handle dairy, you can use this to make your own flavored creamer to go in your coffees and whatever else, or simply use this and throw a dash of your homemade extracts of whatever flavor you want, you know, just a sprinkle, a teaspoon, whatever it is, into your coffee, and now you've got a nice flavored coffee that is also got a nice creamy consistency, and you can add as much of the powder in as you want. So anyway, these are just options. If you're trying not to use up so much of your freezer space, like we have a lot of milk in our freezers right now, whole milk, but I store milk in many different ways. I like to buy the box milk from Costco because it's in boxes and it's a pretty good deal. So I get the organic milk, whole milk only. That's all we ever use. And then those freeze up beautifully, and then we just pull out a carton as we need it, and they thaw out quicker than a whole gallon's going to do anyway. And I freeze butter and I freeze other things, but I also keep powdered milk. I also store boxed milk. So I do have a video on various different types of dairy products and ways to store them, which also includes a powdered goat milk. I can't guarantee the links down there are all applicable now because so much has changed in the past 6 months that a lot of my links are no longer any good. You can copy the title of the product and then paste it into the search on Amazon, and you may be able to find that same product again just under a different link. And that's one way you can do it, or you can find something very similar to it. So that's one way you can do it if you go through any of my links. And then the buttermilk, though I haven't tried this in anything yet, I have actually years ago used to buy buttermilk powder for when I wanted to make buttermilk biscuits or whatever, and I didn't want to store fresh buttermilk in the refrigerator. I liked having the powder on hand, but I stopped doing that many years ago because I realized I could simply use my homemade vinegar or lemon juice and just make buttermilk from regular whatever fresh milk we had. But when you're looking at food storage and something long term, buttermilk powder would be something very handy to have. And here's an idea that came to me as soon as I got it in, was this would be something that you could use to make your own ranch dressing mix. So if you have a powdered mix, all you would need to do, you could simply add a little water, maybe some mayonnaise, depending on how you like to make your ranch dressing, and then there you go. And by the way, if you're interested in mayonnaise, making your own homemade mayonnaise, I do have a recipe to that. I'll link down below, but I want to tell you, I've changed it a little bit since. I have now since done a 1-to-1 ratio on the fats. So now I substitute half of the avocado oil with half melted coconut oil, and that actually makes it richer and just gives it a better flavor all the way around. So I'm always changing my recipes a little bit as I go. So when you go watch that video, just keep that in mind. There are other oils you can use. I just find that when it comes to mayonnaise, I do like olive oil, but I do not like it in my mayonnaise. I do not like olive oil based mayonnaise. It just, to me, has a nasty flavor. And I know there's others that agree, but if you prefer that flavor, then stick with it or consider other blends. I like avocado oil because it has a very, very mild flavor. Grapeseed oil is another good option. Just make sure if you're using grapeseed, you definitely go organic. And as some other people have mentioned, when you're talking avocado oil, try to look for the stuff that's grown here in the US and not in Mexico. But we got to do the best we can with what's available to us as well. And then one more thing I want to mention is once you open these containers up and you take the foil off of it, they're not going to stay as fresh in these plastic containers, and they're plastic. So if you're trying to get away from plastic, or you're wanting to repackage it once you open it so it stays fresh, I recommend putting it into jars, into your glass jars, and then vacuum sealing it. So I'll describe how I do this, but I'm not going to show it because I'm going to, right after this, shoot another video showing how to vacuum seal powdery things into jars. But anyway, you simply put your funnel on there, your canning funnel, dump your powdered ingredients carefully, and it'll make a cloud and it'll be messy, into your jar. Then you'll want to take a little piece of fabric or a coffee filter or even a piece of paper towel and kind of lay that on top and tuck it around the powder ingredients before you put your lid on to vacuum seal. Now there's a couple ways that you can vacuum seal. There's a few different ways. You can use the big canisters, which years ago I had, but I didn't understand how you used them, and so I think I got rid of them. Or you can use your food saver with the attachments like this, and you slip it down over the jar, and then you can use your food saver to vacuum seal. It will have a hose that you snap in there, or you can use the brake bleeder pump like I've been doing for 4 years, and I love it. It's my favorite way to vacuum seal. Now, a lot of people talk about the difficulty of finding these tops. This has been a new development in the past several months because more and more people are getting into food storage, and so these keep selling out. I keep having people come in and say, I can't find them anywhere, and then another person will come in and say, well, I found them at foodsaver.com. Then you go into foodsaver.com just to find out, well, they just sold out there too. Or you go to my Amazon links that I'll have down below, and they might be there, or they might be gone. It's a matter of continuing to keep checking. And don't forget to check also, though we always appreciate those people who go through our Amazon links because that does help support us. Please don't forget to check your local stores. any of your stores that have anything about food preservation, any section in there, whether it be a hardware store, or even if you have, like us, we have one really big store in our small town that has everything. It has an Ace hardware section, it has a clothing section, it has a grocery section, and anyway, you might be able to find them there. Don't forget to check there. And just keep checking. A Food Saver does keep making the tops. It's just they're having a hard time keeping them in stock. So don't give up looking for them. And also one more thing is foodsaver.com. If you can get them there, they do have a better price because you can get the whole set, the set of 2, for a better price than what you can get buying them individually on Amazon.com. So check Food Saver first. But if you're in a hurry, then go through and check on Amazon and see if they're there if foodsaver.com doesn't have them. And there's various other stores online you can look to. Any place that's going to carry food preservation products. So just keep searching and don't give up. And then the brake bleeder, same thing. I haven't gone through and changed all my brake bleeder links in all my videos. The original one, this one here that I bought, is it's sold out a long time ago. Then the next one I got and linked to, that one sold out, but there's still always others available that are very similar. They all work the same way. So just remember, do that search on there. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some ideas. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.